Good morning, everyone. Sheila here in Bohodaydreams, and welcome to my channel. Hope everyone is having a fabulous Friday. Oh my goodness, I love Friday so much. I don't know why. After 5.5 years of every day being Friday for me, you would think that the novelty of it had worn off, but it just didn't, and it just feels different. I don't know why. Anyway, our weather here is West Coast weather. I look at the mountains and the clouds are touching the ground, which is something I do not like. Here in the valley, which is just a short distance away, they're not touching the ground, but they're pretty close to touching. It's not my favorite. It's cold and rainy. I do not like it. Anyway, I'm going to pop up my information. I'm Sheila Genrich, scoghill4@gmail.com. Facebook group is Bohodaydreams. And if you want to join us over there, you're more than welcome. All the information will be in the description box. Please make sure that you answer the questions because we're a little particular with making sure that you are authentic and not just somebody that shouldn't be in the group. So we're going to carry on with this. But before we do, I want to give a mention to somebody who got left out of my video yesterday, and I did several retakes on it, and for some reason because I did a few of them, I didn't mention this in the video, and I apologize because oh my goodness, this is my true inspiration. You hear me talk about her all the time. I link her in almost every video that I make. Her name is Randi Kirby, and she's Dreamy Bohemian on YouTube. And she is an incredible artist. And I just love how she makes things easy for us to understand. And I have so many of her journals and how she creates them. They're so beautifully. I can't use them because they're just so beautiful to me, but I love to look at them. And so she inspires me. She inspires a lot of us. And so she will be linked in the description box of both videos. And when you go over to her channel, you will totally understand what I'm talking about. And you should see her last journal, Whispers of Peace. Oh my goodness. You will just drool. That should be a class. Anyway, so yesterday I left off with the lace. I had tried to sew it on and it just didn't sew on. So I had thought I was going to leave it super long, but then I decided when I laid it all out, it really does look better with some of this dark red, and the light is better today. So you can see it is this dark. This is the color. What you see on the video is basically the same color as what this journal color actually is. So today, we're not going to work on the cover. We are going to be working on creating the little medallion, and we're going to be picking out our papers. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to set up my table. I'm going to come back and then we'll start. Okay, I'm back and I'm a little bit more prepared than I was yesterday, because yesterday I was painting and oh my goodness, I didn't have a painting board underneath. And as you can see, this glue this is my little workspace. I love to use this. It's tiny. So what we're going to do today is we're going to, let me just pull this off. We're going to do this. We're going to make this. And I'm going to go through the items that you need to make this. So you're going to need a frame, and they come in all sorts of colors and even sizes. So I've got all sorts of sizes here. And these are all Amazon. These are my favorite. These are my favorite. And when I order them, when I order these, I think this is the color right now that's left on Amazon. I never know what I'm getting. I like them both, but I love that color. That's called the red bronze. This one here is just brass, I think. And this is how the gold comes. So we're going to do from this to this. because I just like this so much better, right? So I'm going to grab the pieces that we're going to need. So you're going to need one of your little frames, and that one looks like it's a little bit bent there. That's better. So you're going to need that. You're going to need, and I have a bin of this. I have it from everywhere because there used to be a lady on YouTube that I used to buy all that sort of stuff from. And so I have tons of it, tons. So as you can see, there's just everything all over. And there's more. I just grabbed one of my trays here because it's fun. It's full of funness. Okay, so you're going to need that. We're going to pick something out there. You will need some paint. You will need, oh my goodness, where is it? This, some rubber buff. And let me see what else. Oh, yes. And it depends what size you are using for the frame or which frame you're using. So we'll put that up. You might need something like that. And then you're going to need some glue. And this is the glue that I use. I'm going to link everything that I can possibly link in the description box. Also, I pulled these out of the textiles. You probably have them too. I just pull them right out. Or if they ever fall out of things like this, I just keep them. All right. So let's see. What are we doing? So we want to make a big one, but I just want to show you like these little frames. Like sometimes I have like this. This is the piece we used yesterday. Now, I just sit them on like this, and see, this is a perfect size for this. So this is kind of what I had envisioned for this, but because I needed a bigger focal point for the cover, I need the big frame. So that didn't work. So then I went and found, these are called jewelry connectors. And I've had these for a very long time. You can use anything that you want. And I just laid it on top like that, because this kind of gets hidden pretty well. And then I put that on top like that. And that's how it sits. And then you can weave your tie underneath, right? So that's the way it sits, and then on top. And it works better if it has glue. So I don't know if I want to make another red one because I have a red one. So I'm just going to show you some options here. So I used one of these on the purple one, and it fits beautifully. And these, I think, are Hobby Lobby. I think these are Hobby Lobby, but I am not 100% sure because I have stuff from everywhere, but I think that's where they came from. Anyway, they're so pretty, and they match this frame so perfectly. They're like just like that. So there's that. Then there I have these. These are so cool too, but the gold is kind of not a great color for this. So when I rough it up like this, it looks awesome. Then you have, these are little brooches. So with the little brooches, I just need to go grab my pliers, which is somewhere. I found it. You know, there's pros and cons to cleaning, you know, and I just had them yesterday, but oh, my beading station is such a mess. So with something like this, I just wiggle it because they're not attached very well. And then I just, if there's a little bit, if that is a little bit of an intrusion and it's going to affect how my piece sits, I just kind of pick it off like this, because that's the little solder bond, which is why these things, why the brooch piece comes off. And then I save this because this will be handy for something else somewhere down the line. So just save those. So then when I've done that, then it will fit perfectly on here like that. Isn't that pretty? And it'll be a lot prettier when it looks more like this, right? And you can even like buff that up a little bit. Anyway, so let's see, what do I want to use? I mean, there's cameos. Cameo is very pretty. The cameos are beautiful. I just I don't want to use a cameo today. So we're not going to do that. Not using that one. Let's see what else do I have here. Oh, this is pretty. Here's another one that is not right. So it would need some sort of a connector. That's really pretty. So it has those. So I would need to, and I think I have to, oh, I do think I have to get the industrial nipper out, and I might do that when I turn the video off for a second. But for right now, let's just get these two pieces painted, and then we can go from there. I have a little, this was a baby wipe, and it's dry, and it works really, really good because this is rather messy. So shake up your glue. Shake it up good. Glue paint. Shake your paint up good. And I'm using this one. This one works really good. It's thick enough. And I think I got this at, I think I got this paint at, it was in a thrift shop, in a bag of a whole bunch of other stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is just use the black, and I'm just going to wipe that all over my piece. Because the black gives a bit of depth to the gold rub, and it also gives it a bit of grip, because otherwise the gold rub doesn't want to stick. So give it a good little coating like that, just everywhere. Pat it on, however you do it, just like that. Oh boy. And then just let it dry. And this one too, just a little bit. And this is how I get my fingers so terribly, terribly dirty. And it's right into my cuticles, the paint. That just needs a little bit more. Sometimes I get so much paint on it, I actually lose the design. See if that works. Just tap it all up a little bit. Just want a good coating. All right, so these need to dry now. So I'm going to be back shortly, and we'll have them all dried up, and then we're going to go on to the gold. Okay, so that was about 15 minutes, and it feels pretty much dry. Maybe a little bit tacky, but I don't really think that's going to matter a whole bunch. So what I do now is, if I can see that it's kind of been a little bit too thick and hidden a bit of the design, then I kind of lift a little bit of that off. So it's actually a little bit wet yet. And this one here is a little out of shape, so let's just bend that. Okay, that now it's sitting flat. Anyway, we're going to now buff them up a little bit, and I found, what did I do? I found another piece here, and this is something that I got from Joann's or Michael's, and I've used it before, one of these before too. These are really pretty, and I just put a little bit of black on there also, and then just buff it up. And these are so tiny that you don't even have to try and nip those off. I did while I was waiting for paint to dry. I did nip them off, and I'll tell you, I had to get out the industrial snippers. And you say, why do you have industrial wire cutters? Because I have a husband who loves tools. And one year he bought me this pliers set, and it's got like 10 different pliers in it, none of which I can really use here because they're not delicate pliers, they're shop pliers. But you know what, they come in handy every so often, and he loves tools, so when he buys me tools, they sit in here somewhere. So I did that, and you just have to apply a lot of pressure, and they're not quite flat, but you know what? They will sit quite nicely. If we decide to use this, it will sit quite nicely on that. All right, so let's add some of the gold. This is the Grecian Gold Rub and Buff, and you do not need a whole bunch of this. And I do it exactly the same as I do with the black paint. And it is this really, really nice paste. So you just take a little bit and you just rub it on. And it grabs it so nicely. And then I try and work a little bit of it off so it doesn't just all look one-dimensional, because I like to see a little bit of the black come through. But this piece is more or less going to be hidden, so it doesn't really matter. The frame here will work a little differently. And just a little FYI, this is paint. So when it's on there, it's on there. So I'm going to have to get probably some acetone or something like that to take that off. Just a little FYI for you. So you only need a little bit, little bit. And I just rub it on like that. And I have to tilt it to the side so I can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, I can't really see where I'm adding the gold to. And that's basically it. And I don't want to cover up all the black because I like that. So that's it for that. I'm going to link these details in the description box. And the next time you see this mat, you're going to be reminded that, oh yeah, we did gold paint on there. I don't think that's going to, no, that's, see? Can't pick it up at all. Oh well, that's a lifer now. All right, so what are we going to use? What are we going to do? Well, I did find this, and that's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I only have one of those. It looks like it's a button, and it also looks like I must have thrown it into some sort of, I don't know, something, because it's all rusty. But I don't remember doing that. So maybe it came in a thing of junk to begin with. That's pretty too. That's really pretty. But we're going to use this piece, so let's not get carried away here with those other pieces. So first things I need to do is I'm going to glue that on. And for that, I use the E6000. And I only need a little bit. Just like that. And then I just plop it on. And this is going to take a little bit of time to dry. Just because the paint is still a little bit wet and it takes a little bit of time to cure. But you can do it this way too. I like the perpendicular versus the parallel, because then I can slide my tie underneath. So there's that. Now let's see what we have in here that we might want to use. No, not that. One of those would be actually really nice, but it is almost big enough that it can be just glued on like that, or even like this, right? That's pretty too. Let's see, what do I want to use? Oh, this is so pretty, but I don't need anything extra for this. It just sits there like that. It's so pretty. That's going to be used on a journal at some point. This is for sure it's for sure a Hobby Lobby thing. And for that, all I would do is cut this right off. All right, so why am I not finding what I want to use here? Why? Oh, that's pretty. Great. This is another one that I would have to cut those little things off of, but that's really pretty. So that's what I want to use. Oh my goodness, these things are like industrial. I might have to turn the camera off too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm going to have to turn the camera off. Oh no, maybe not. Sometimes, you don't want to walk barefoot in here. Sometimes they just come off so nicely, and sometimes they just don't. So how about I turn the camera off and then come back? Oh wow, that took a little muscle. So if you're going to cut off those things, then you're going to need one of these. And you might need a strong arm, maybe a brother or a husband or somebody that has good arm strength. So it's a little bit sharp, but it's not going to matter because we're going to glue that down. And it doesn't matter now how much glue you put on this because you want it to make a good connection. And I don't know, I was looking for these on Amazon yesterday, and I don't know if they're sold out right now. But if you just look up little jewel buttons or something like that, then you'll probably find them. Oops, that's a little bit lots. You have to be careful with the glue. I should say that. You need to be careful because if you have something that has little holes in it, or it's like lacy, then your glue will come right through that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then you just work on centering it. And I hope that I put enough glue on that to make it stick. And if I didn't, I can always add more from behind later. So that is that. Now, oh wow, I almost tossed those away. That would not be good. I'd be going and picking more out. So with those, and you can use anything here. You can use beads, you can use pearls, you can use whatever. I like to use those sparkly things because they fall off of the things I have sitting around all the time. All right, I need a pin. So we're just going to use this because I don't have anything else sitting around. And this glue is awesome because I can just peel it off afterwards. Just because I don't want the glue all over the place. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there and then stick one of these little guys in. Sometimes you almost have to have a tweezer to get it in there straight. Sometimes I use smaller ones and then I do need a tweezers. I hope I'm in camera. All right, so there we have it. There is a beautiful little focal for your journal projects. And I hope that has helped you to give you kind of imaginings of how to make your own. I'm going to link all of this stuff in the description box and where I get it from, just because look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? And they're all pretty. I mean, this one would have been equally pretty in there. And I think these even come in silver. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've bought any, because when I did find them, they were on sale a while back. And then I went and bought a lot. All right, I'm cleaning up. We're gonna decide on papers next. All right, so we're gonna decide on some papers. And this is a personal preference to the individual and what you enjoy and what kind of paper makes you feel happy. So this journal, this little journal, will have 4 signatures in it, and it'll be very similar to the other journals that I put together. And so I did some tea staining yesterday, and these journals are supposed to remind you of something you found in grandma's attic that was misplaced and lost forever. And so for myself, I do not want papers that are perfect. I don't want them to be homogeneous. I want them to be aged, and I want them to look like they have experienced some life. Now, this one here is beautiful, very, very beautiful. And it looks like I must have almost started it on fire. So I'm not going to use that one because I'm going to use that in another project. That one, no. So anyway, I'm just going to quickly browse through my papers. And sometimes they die odd, so I like that. I like the abnormalities. So if I have 5 papers per, I want 5, so I need 10 pages because these are going to be cut in half because the cover is shorter. So I want all sorts of stuff. Oh yes, one of those. Oh yeah, another one that almost caught on fire. We'll save that for something else. And then there was something that was on my pan and it picked up. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I love when that happens. So we're just going to choose a few random papers. And this journal is a commission journal, so I don't know how much she likes the grunginess of things. So we're going to kind of hold off on the over grunginess. We'll kind of just look at more aged. All right, so I don't know how many that is. Let's count. So I need 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I should buy a lottery ticket. Okay, because I wasn't even counting when I was pulling them out. And I love, 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 love French paper. This is really super old. So it kind of looks like something that may have been in the journal. So we're going to use some of that. So that is what we're going to do because this is a journal that is meant to be interacted with for the person who is receiving it. They make it their own. So the cover is, as we said, it was, I don't know, what is it, 5.5 by 4. So I think by folding one of these in half, cutting this in half is going to be the right size because that's what I was aiming for. Because honestly, I have too many scraps and things don't always get cut completely perfectly, but I try. Oh, I need a cutter. I need a cutter. And I actually found, while I was cleaning up, I found this one that I had purchased like 10 years ago, before I knew that there was the other cutting tools. And so I've never really used this one, but I did dull the blade up. I don't know what I was doing. So we'll see. We'll see if it cuts. Otherwise I have to stop and stop and start again. So this kind of cutter kind of always makes me a bit nervous because I don't cut straight. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. And we don't want it to be perfect anyway. Oh, but it is pretty good, but it's not perfect. Okay, so we're gonna cut all of these. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna cut them all and then we're gonna come back. So here we are, we're back. I started folding them up and I thought, well, I should just kind of mention what I do. And I did the French too. I've got the French pieces cut up. So when I'm looking at my pages now, and as you can see, my cutter isn't sharp, but isn't that cool? I love that. I love the way it cut. It's almost like it's a decal edge. So now I just want to, I want all of that on the bottom. I just want to, or maybe it should be on the top. Wouldn't that be cool on the top? Because we see the top of our journals more than we see the bottom. Okay, that's going to be on the top. All right, so when I'm folding my pages now, I want to fold them which side I want to see first. So that's what I do next. I just fold them with what I want on the top page. Because don't we always notice the top page first? So that's what I'm going to do. So after they're all folded, and I can do this now or later, what I'm going to do is get out some of the washi tape that I have made. And all of this is in my Etsy still. There are a few things in Etsy, and I found out that is in my Etsy too. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So if you're looking for really cool washi tape to make yourself, this is really good. And I just stuck it to with my sticker machine, and it started doing that. So I never offered it to anybody. But you go ahead over there if you want some of the washi. You just print it off. I just printed it off on tracing paper. And I use this too. I just take and glue that on with a glue stick. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is just look at my pages and see if there's anything that needs a little washi tape already, because sometimes the edges are torn because of how you dye them. That's a little wrinkled. Wow, they actually look really good. Oh, there's a little bit of a blemish there. So I'm just going to take some of this. I don't need all of it, so I'll save a piece. And I just do this because I want this to look like it got taped, that Grandma was careless and it got taped. Isn't that cool? I love that. I love the way that looks. And so you'll find little bits of this washi all over the place, just because I think it just looks great. And if you can't find a reason for it, just make it up. And if it's not colored, tear it off. That look great. I love it. Anybody that has kind of grungy fears issues, yeah, that's not for you. That would not be for you. Let's use some of this one. Sometimes it's kind of hard to peel off when you're going from that end. That's the top. So let's do the bottom. And so you'll just randomize that wherever. So we're not going to do all of those because you don't need to see me doing all of that, because you may or may not like that. But the last step that we are going to do is reinforce this, because this here is very, very brittle. These are old, 1918, and I think, you know, that's not all that old, but it is old enough for paper. And so I need my scissors. It is here. So just gonna cut some strips. And this is just personal preference. I just think it's pretty. In my Etsy, there is also a deep red, kind of like a watermelon red one. Oh, it is so pretty. I actually have the wallpaper to it. That's where it came from, is my antique wallpaper. It is so pretty. And I went looking for my own files, and I can't find my files on them. So when I run out, I probably have to go to my own Etsy and buy it for myself because I don't have it in my files. So I think that should be strong enough. But if you find that it isn't, then just give it a tape on the inside too. And I'll figure that out later. So we've got a few pieces here to do. Oh, there's this one. This one's shorter. I love washi tape, but I like the really sheer wallpaper type of washi tape. And so I have bought a lot of it in my life, and I have never used it. And then I bought some that wouldn't stick. Even with glue, it would not stick. I was like, do I have to super glue this down? I don't know. Anyway, so that's it for today. The next video that we'll do is we'll decorate just a little bit, and we will put the papers in, and hopefully we get to sewing in the papers onto the spine. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day. Bye-bye.